What I have here is a little more than 4 pounds of Blue Fin Tuna sushi grade. And I'm going to break down this hunk of meat and make poke a number of different ways. In addition, I'm going to do some slices for some sashimi. And we're going to have a seafood treat tonight for dinner. I'm going to cube this tuna into, I'll say a little less than 1-inch cubes. I have here some Hawaiian dried ogo, and that's just seaweed, which I'm going to put in some water so that it can rehydrate. So give that a couple of minutes, then I'll drain it and we'll chop it up. I have some green onions or scallions which I've washed. I cut off the root end, and I'm going to be using both the green end and the white end, though for different uses. Fresh ginger, which I'm going to grate. I'm also going to do some slices of the ginger. Got some garlic cloves, which I'm going to grate. Real easy to do it. I am also going to be making some spicy tuna, and I've got some Kewpie mayo and sriracha, and I'm just going to mix those together. So squirt what I think is enough. That's about 3 tablespoons. And the sriracha, it's probably about a tablespoon. And you can adjust the amount that you use according to the amount of heat or spiciness that you want in your spicy tuna. Simple, simple. I've prepped a lot of the ingredients that are going to be going into these poke. Remember, we had the green onion, and I've divided it between the green end of the stalk and the white end. Got my spicy tuna mixture, and that's about 3 tablespoons of mayo, and I use Kewpie mayo, and about a tablespoon of sriracha. I've got my ogo rehydrated seaweed, ginger. This is ginger minced fine, and this is ginger minced coarse. Garlic minced. I've got soy sauce, Hawaiian salt, sesame seeds. I've got pure sesame oil, and I've got some coarsely cut onion, sweet onion. I'm getting ready to put together the ogo seaweed poke. I've got 1 pound of the cubed bluefin tuna sushi grade. I've got a little bit of the leaner parts and some of the fattier parts that came from that big hunk. I'm going to be using approximately a teaspoon of sesame seeds, a teaspoon of sesame oil, approximately, well, we'll eyeball the amount of the ogo that I put in it, depending on how it looks in the mixture. And I've got about a tablespoon of sea salt that's going into this. I'm going to start out by putting in the Hawaiian sea salt, tablespoon, so that's 3 teaspoons. Teaspoon of the sesame seeds. Teaspoon of the sesame oil, and I may bump that up a little bit just out of taste. I think I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in it. And I'm going to give that a quick mix first. And then I'm going to add the seaweed and give it a mix. We'll see what that looks like in there. This is the first time I'm making this recipe. A friend of ours from Hawaii gave me this combination and said I need to try it because it's wonderful. So we're going to see. Total in this bowl, I had about 2 ounces. I've only gotten about half into it, so I think I'm going to go for about 1 ounce. Give that a mix. And that's one recipe done. Let's take a taste. That Hawaiian sea salt hasn't had a chance to melt yet, to get in there. So as the tuna absorbs it, hopefully it's going to be less salty than it was in that first bite I just took. The next combination is going to be my spicy tuna. And for that I've got my soy sauce, and I'm going to be using a couple of teaspoons of soy sauce, about a teaspoon of sesame oil, some green onions, and it's going to be, I say about 1/4 cup. I'm going to have my sweet onions, and I'm going to put in just enough to see that it looks the way that I want it to look. And I've got my sriracha sauce that is with my mayonnaise, and I've also got some sesame seeds. I'm going to start off by adding the soy sauce. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to put in a couple of teaspoons. This is a tablespoon measure, so I'm not using all of that. Calls for about a half a tablespoon of sesame oil. A little less than that, so I'm going to estimate it. That's about it. Green onion, and I'm going to be putting in the white part of it, the stalks. Then I've got my sweet onions, and I put that on in there. And, of course, my mayo mixture. I didn't use all of that. I'll see what it looks like as I mix it. Tuna-wise, I only have a half a pound of tuna in here. Then a few little sesame seeds. Those flavors will meld together. And we've got spicy tuna poke. Here I have my third type of poke that I'm going to make. And this one is going to contain, I've got about a pound of that sushi grade blue fin tuna. I've got soy sauce. I'm going to be using about 3 tablespoons of it. 2 tablespoons of the sesame oil. Green onions and the sweet onions. And sesame seeds at the end. I'm going to start by adding my soy sauce. Let's go in with 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. Sesame oil. 1, 2 tablespoons. Green onion. And white sweet onions. Got to add the seeds. Let's go here. Then we have our shoyu poke with sesame seeds. And here I have yet another version of a poke I'm going to make. This is about 14 ounces, a little less than a pound, of bluefin tuna sushi grade. I'm going to be adding to it 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. I've got my green onion here, and I'm going to put in the rest of the green onion that I had previously prepared. Also going in the mix are going to be my sweet onion, sweet white onion. Not to forget the sesame seeds. And we're putting in probably about a teaspoon or more of sesame seeds. In addition on this one that I didn't put in the previous ones, I'm going to add some ginger. And that's probably about a half of a teaspoon of ginger I put in there. And I've got my grated garlic. I grated 3 cloves, so I'm going to put in about 1/3 of it. So that'd be about the equivalent of 1 tablespoon of garlic. And we'll mix that all together. The difference in it and just my regular shoyu poke is the addition of that garlic and that ginger, so it adds an extra punch to it. First one is a spicy tuna. The second one is a Hawaiian style poke with the ogo seaweed in addition to the Hawaiian sea salt. The third one is a soy sauce based poke, sesame oil, onions, sesame seeds, soy sauce. And the final one is similar to the third, except we added some ginger and garlic. I've got my sashimi from this Blue Fin Tuna sushi grade, and that's going to be served with the dipping sauce or just plain soy sauce with wasabi. I've got some rice cooking in the rice cooker, and we're going to be ready for this seafood feast.